So you are probably thinking that going plant-based sounds like a great idea, but you don't know where to start. Don't worry, you are in the right place. In this video, I will show you 3 easy steps to go plant-based. We'll also have a look at whether you will need any supplements, whether you will need any special equipment, and I will also share with you 10 tips, including 2 of my favorite ones, to make the whole thing even easier for you. But first, is going plant-based such a great idea? Well, yes, it is. It's one of the most powerful steps you can take to improve your health, boost energy levels, and prevent chronic diseases. Plant-based diet may help prevent and even reverse some of the leading causes of death, including heart disease, cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and many other leading killers. A whole food plant-based diet is also the most effective weight loss solution without calorie restriction or exercise ever published in medical literature. It works better than anything else studied to date. It helps you lose weight even while eating as much as you want and without exercising, calorie counting, and ever feeling hungry. It also helps dramatically reduce menopause symptoms, and it can even save you money. A University of Oxford study found that plant-based diets can reduce food cost by up to 1/3 in high-income countries. But best of all, plant-based diet can be a very tasty and enjoyable way to eat. So we've got enough reasons to go plant-based. Where do we start? Okay, step 1. Think of 3 dinner meals you already enjoy that are plant-based, like jacked potatoes, veggie stir-fry, bean and rice burrito, or lentil stew for your first ideas. Also try to eat as much unprocessed, whole foods as possible. So, for example, replace white rice with brown one. Or in pasta and tomato sauce, you can replace white pasta with whole grain one and add some extra veggies and beans. Step 2. Think of 3 meals you already eat that could be adapted to become a plant-based meals, like switching from beef chili to free bean chili, or beef and cheese tacos to bean and veggie tacos, or a curry that can be made in tons of variations, and with or without coconut milk. Just make sure the curry paste doesn't contain fish sauce or shrimp. Step 3. Discover new options. For example, Google plant-based recipes or easy vegan recipes, and thousands will pop up. Or try the same on YouTube. There are plenty of amazing vegan cooking channels out there. Choose 3 recipes that you can make right away. In this easy way, you have at least 9 dinner meals to start with. You can do the same with ideas for breakfast and lunch. I will also include a few websites with recipes in the description below. So these are 3 easy steps to eat more plant-based. But I also have 10 tips for you that will hopefully answer some questions you may have. So first, what should you eat? Whole grains. Opt for whole grains such as quinoa, oats, buckwheat, whole wheat pasta, amaranth, as they are high in fiber, protein, and micronutrients. Legumes. Beans, lentils, and peas are some of the most sustainable protein sources on the planet. Try, for example, chickpeas, black beans, soya beans, lentils, tofu, and tempeh. Fruits and vegetables. Have a mix of both, fresh and frozen, to hand for tasty, colorful meals. Make sure to include dark leafy greens like spinach or kale in your daily meals. Nuts and seeds. For example, walnuts and ground flax seeds are rich in omega-3 fats, and pumpkin seeds are a great source of zinc. Herbs and spices. These are packed with antioxidants and can add tons of flavor to your meals. Other staples might include plant milk, extra virgin olive oil, vinegar, and condiments such as nutritional yeast and miso. Second, try to eat as much whole food as possible, as processed and refined foods are unhealthy, pro-inflammatory, and often have no or less nutritional value. So, for example, whole grains like quinoa and oats rather than processed grains like bread or pasta, particularly the white, refined versions, or beans rather than ready-made vegan patties. Fats from whole foods like avocado, seeds or nuts, rather than processed oils. Try to always keep some frozen fruits and vegetables in the freezer, as they are an easy and low-cost way to eat more plants. To save time when cooking beans or lentils, cook more and freeze some for later. And always soak beans for at least 12 hours, as soaking makes them easier to digest, removes anti-nutrients, and decreases the cooking time. If you haven't been eating beans, start with small amounts first, like 1 to 2 spoons per day, and gradually increase your intake of beans over time, allowing your digestive system to adjust to the higher fiber content and minimize potential discomfort like gas and bloating, which often occurs when you start eating a large amounts of beans suddenly. When you are starting, it's easier to use canned beans, as 1 can of beans may last you a few days, but you can always freeze the excess. Later, you can get a pressure cooker to cook larger amounts of beans and cook them faster and easier than on the stove. If your family is not following a plant-based diet with you, you can cook meat separately and add it to plant-based meals, and try new recipes they might enjoy. Always have a backup plan to help you avoid falling into old habits. Having some quick and simple meal ideas handy will help. Something like frozen veggie burgers, hummus and veggie wraps, or a cup of lentil soup are all fast options. Dietary changes are more effective when you have consistent support or a friend making the same changes along with you. So try to find someone who would like to start this journey with you, a friend, a family member, or a coworker, or reach out to meetup groups or social media groups. The last two are my favorite tips. Planning. When I'm planning, for example, a week or two ahead, I tend to eat healthier and have more variety in my meals. And it makes my life easier regarding shopping for ingredients, but also to avoid waste, as I can incorporate leftovers in my meals. The last one, my favorite place to find new recipes and inspirations, is YouTube, as I prefer to watch a video of someone cooking rather than to read the recipe. And that's great news, as there are tons of great plant-based cooking channels on YouTube. I know we've mentioned that before, but I wanted to include it here as my favorite tip for eating more plant-based. And lastly, as promised at the beginning of the video, let's have a look at supplements and whether you will need any. And also whether you will need any special equipment to start eating plant-based. Okay, supplements. Yes, you will need vitamin B12. At least 2000 micrograms of cyanocobalamin once each week, ideally as a chewable, sublingual or liquid supplement taken on empty stomach. However, those over 65 years of age should take at least 1000 micrograms of cyanocobalamin every day, regardless of the diet. Vitamin D. You may need vitamin D depending on where you live or how much sun you get. But ideally, you could get your vitamin D level tested first to see whether you are deficient or not. If you are deficient, you may need to take 2000 international unit vitamin D daily, ideally as D3 plus K2. For example, I take 4000 international units of vitamin D daily with K2, based on the test I've done. But I live in Scotland, where vitamin D deficiency is very common. I also take my vitamin D together with magnesium, as magnesium improves vitamin D absorption. Omega-3 fatty acids are super important for your brain function. We've been always taught to get omega-3s from fish oil. Now, whether someone is following plant-based diet or not, fish oil is not a good option anymore. Our oceans have become so polluted that fish may contain various pollutants, including dioxins, PCBs, pesticides like DDT, flame-retardant chemicals, and heavy metals, including mercury, lead, and cadmium. that can negatively affect human health. Thankfully, you can get the benefits without the risk by getting long-chain omega-3s from algae instead, which is where the fish primarily get it from to begin with. That way you don't have to worry about pollutant contamination. Just make sure when buying your omega-3 supplement to choose one that contains both EPA and DHA. We need 250 milligrams daily. Now, equipment. Do you need any special equipment to start eating plant-based? No, you don't. You can cook plant-based meals at home with a few basic tools like pots and pans, a cutting board and basic utensils. With time, you may want to get a blender, for example for making smoothies, a pressure cooker, as it will cook beans fast and easy, and food processor. But you don't need any fancy tools to start eating plant-based. Now, a tip here regarding a blender. If you don't have a blender and plan to get one, consider getting the high-speed one, as you can do more with it. For example, ice creams. You can search for vegan banana ice cream on YouTube to see what blenders people are using. Now, even if you don't like bananas, trust me, you will love those ice creams. Okay, we go to the end of this guide. Eating plant-based can be a big shift for you, but it's easier than you think, and it might save your life. Just remember, progress, not perfection. If you fall off the wagon, just dust yourself off and get back on. And if you find you cannot do a plant-based diet 100% of the time, then aim for 80%. Any movement towards more plants and fewer animal products will help. It's not all or nothing. But whether you go all in or decide to make a gradual shift, start now, start today. You'll be glad you did. What do you think? Which part of eating more plant-based will be easier for you and which one can be more difficult? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss my other videos. Thank you for watching, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.